Hello my fellow riders, today we're going to be installing some heated grips from BikeIt onto a Zontes G1. Now as you can see I look like a bit of a pillock, but this is to show you what I'm doing exactly when I'm doing it. Last time I did a tutorial video, you guys said that you couldn't really see much, so this is the best solution I could come up to. I do listen to all the comments you put, but anyway, let's get started. So first thing obviously we've got to do is take off the standard grips. So you've got to remember with this, you still need to use it in a sheath. So you've got to take off the outer sheath. I've got a trick that I use. You may not be able to use it due to the fact that you haven't got a large compressor. You may be able to use the compressed air. So what I do is, if you can see here, there's two different layers. You've got the outside one which is a rubber bit and then the inside one which is plastic. You get the hose, the air. Sometimes it doesn't. It's not going to work. So if that fails, you've got to use a screwdriver. You can spray some, so you can spray a little bit of WD-40 down there if you want to. But make sure that when you put the new one on, you wipe all the WD-40 off. So if the first trick doesn't work, a little bit of a screwdriver, and it's not actually held on there by any rubber or anything, or any glue. It's just held on by itself. He doesn't want to come because I'm on the video. So the other way you can do it is GT85, or this is, it's not WD-40, but it is made by WD-40, so maybe it's a cheaper model. Hopefully you don't make it look as difficult as I'm making it look. But just think, if they were easy to get off, they'd be falling off all the time. It's starting to move. Come on! Yay! See? Nothing. This is just alcohol, petrol system cleaner. You see this one still has the accelerator. When you do get the kits, you'll see that one of them is bigger than the other. Obviously the bigger one slips on there. It's going to be a pain in the bum. And I'm going to have to use some lube. Right, I wiped it off, but I'm going to need it to get it on. So when you're putting these on, make sure that the cable doesn't interact with the brakes, so it's up. I'm going to get a bit of a manoeuvring stick. It's getting there. Little bit of gentle persuasion. So that is now up. So when you run your cable, you can run it something like that. Yeah, something like that. Make sure that it doesn't interfere with anything. And remember also that you've got to give it a little bit of slack. Now forward that side, we'll do the other one. Right, so this side is a bit loose, so we are going to have to come up with a way of securing that. But remember also the end on this one especially, it'll go straight on and it will hold it in place. So we've done this before. One of the best ways to hold it is carpet glue. Again, make sure you wipe off any excess. Perfecto. And on you go. Go up there. Put this one back on. Make sure it's correctly located. That's now in place. That is solid as a rock. Reconnect the other side. Now this side you've got to be careful because you don't want to stop the twist grip from spinning. Which I think this one is going to try. So what I'm going to have to do is cut this little rubber bit here off. It's not good to have the accelerator stuck because then you won't be able to stop it. You've got to cut it like this because otherwise, because you can't move this. So hopefully that'll be enough. If not, I might take a bit of plastic off. No, I'm going to take some of that plastic off too. I am only taking a little bit off of this. The heated element is further down. And clean it up a bit. Next part. So this goes, they're not handed, so pops in there. And we're going to have to find somewhere to locate that one. And lastly, this bit. Now what I like to do generally with these So generally with this, I like to either go into the back of the USB or into the ignition. You are really supposed to go directly off the battery. Problem with that is, if you forget to turn it off, then yeah, your battery's going to die. Luckily on the Zontes, there is, because they use a generic loom, there's 2 wires here, and they are for the lighting, so therefore a bike with side light, and I'm going to go into them because these ones don't come on with the ignition, they only come on when the engine's running, and that's another good thing because you're not going to drain the battery. Also, it means that you don't have to cut into the loom because I can crimp some ends onto this and just plug directly into there, put some heat shrink over the top, and then bob's your uncle. So you've got to remember when you're modifying anything like this brand new, you've got to make sure that you test it beforehand because potentially you may not be able to send it back afterwards. I don't like these this sort of clipper or whatever you want to call it. You always find out the connection's not as good as it should be, and sometimes they come off, so I'm going to put a bit of heat shrink around that. So I will sort out the wires in a bit. Red one goes into the blue. Black one goes into the green. Cable here. Plugs into there. Right, as you can see, engine's not on and it won't start. Clutch in. Engine's on. I can feel them getting warmer. I'll leave that running for a little bit. They're getting nice and toasty now. But you turn it off. So this is good because it's not going to drain your battery. If your bike is turned off, obviously this is coming through the lighting circuit. Your headlights aren't on. So yeah, that's what it does. That's great. So thank you for watching my video on how to install heated grips on your Zontes G1. Now this technique can be used for any motorcycle. The one thing I would say is the power that I found on this one to go up was connected to the lighting system, and it comes on with the engine, doesn't come on with the ignition. The best thing I would suggest is if your bike has got a USB attachment or a cigarette lighter attachment, go into the back of that. But what I would suggest is instead of cutting the wire, there will be a join somewhere on that wire, and just make something to go in the middle of it instead of cutting into the wire, because you don't want to be cutting into a loom, especially when it is EFI, because then that starts to change the resistance on the wires, and the EFI systems are very specific about resistance on wires. And anyway, you don't want to be cutting into wiring anyway, because then it starts to affect your warranty. If you put a connection in between, in theory, it shouldn't affect your warranty. Now, I did cut these slightly myself, and that would affect the warranty. So yeah, do it at your own risk, test it before you do it. I didn't have any problems with thinking this wasn't going to work. They usually do. So yeah, can't complain. So hopefully this has helped, and hopefully my camera on my head has made it so that you can see exactly what I'm doing slightly better. You guys did say last time that I wasn't very good at showing exactly what I'm doing, so hopefully this will sort it. Remember, I have over 300 videos on my channel, all motorbike related content. Hit that thumbs up if you liked the video, comment below and tell me if you didn't and how I can make the video better in the future. As I said, you guys commented on one of my previous videos, so I've tried to remedy that. Hit the join button if you want to support the channel, but as always, ride safe.